When you're throwing a dinner party, you want a really impressive main course, but you don't want to spend a lot of money and you don't want to stress yourself out. This is why I like taking chicken thighs and cooking them confit style. I like it because 1, it sounds fancy because it's French, and everything French sounds fancy. 2, chicken thighs are a lot cheaper than traditional duck legs, which is what people usually associate with confit. And also, you can start it the night before, which means you don't have to do as much the day of the party. The first thing we're gonna do is prep our curing mixture. So we're gonna take some tasty garlic. I've got about 6 cloves here. You could even use 7 or 8 if you really like garlic. Throw those in the food processor. Take 2 Mediterranean bay leaves. Crumple those up. It's a very satisfying sound. And then we're just gonna pulse those together. You can also use a mortar and pestle. And I really wish you could smell this because it smells amazing. Then we're gonna add half a cup of salt. We've also got a couple tablespoons of sugar, a tablespoon of pepper, and about 6 or 8 thyme sprigs with all the leaves removed, depending on how big they are. Then we're just gonna give that a nice stir. Let everyone get acquainted. And once it looks like you've got everything pretty well mixed together, you can tell because the pepper seems to be evenly distributed. I'm gonna take about maybe like 1/3 of the mixture. Make like a nice little sandy bed your chicken's gonna sit on top of here. Kind of pat it out. Now we're gonna take our chicken. So we're first gonna nestle about 8 of these guys tightly down in here. We're using 8 bone-in, skin-on thighs. You want the bones and you want the skin because that's where fat and flavor live, and that's the best part of the chicken. We're gonna take the rest of our curing mixture and sprinkle that on top. This flavor is really gonna permeate the meat, and it's also gonna like concentrate the flavors by drawing out some of the moisture. Make sure everybody's nice and covered. We're gonna cover this in plastic wrap, pop it in the fridge, and let it hang out for a full 24 hours while we get the rest of our dinner party together. All right, so we're getting a little down to the wire here. My dinner party is just in a couple hours. This chicken's been hanging out and curing in the fridge overnight. So the first thing we need to do is just wipe off the curing mixture. Just brush it off with a paper towel. You can also rinse them if you really want to get all that mixture off, but I don't find it to be necessary. And then just pat dry, transfer them to a baking dish. I don't know if you can see, but the meat actually gets darker, firmer. It's just like so intense, flavorful. So those are all ready. And the next really wonderful thing we're going to do is take some glorious chicken schmaltz. We're gonna melt it, and then we're just gonna cover these thighs. You can also use duck fat, but duck fat is about twice as much as chicken fat, and I think chicken fat's really, really awesome. So this is about 1 pound of schmaltz. There we go. And then we're just gonna put this on low heat. Just kind of keep it moving so it melts. So actually, the reason we're using so much fat is confit means cooked in fat. It's gonna get all happy, juicy, really rich and decadent, but still fairly cheap. We're just gonna pour it right on top of our chicken. Oh my gosh. This is awesome. There are few things more outright decadent and fancy than meat just smothered in fat. Now we're gonna put this in a 220-degree oven for a few hours just to get everything nice, moist, and fall off the bone tender. Okay, so it's been a few hours. Our chicken should be done. We're gonna go ahead and get it out of the oven. This is why you wear an apron. And that is a lot of beautiful fat. So these are totally done, but as you can see, the skin is a little lackluster. It's not a big deal. We're just gonna give it a quick sear to get some good browning action going. There we go. So we've got our chicken confit, got a beautiful wedge of our palm Anna, we've got our vibrant, juicy, naked tomato salad, and we have a very easily executed, pretty cheap, not at all stressful dinner party meal.